Right, on to the last box of the case. And altogether, I mean, we've done really well, I'm going to say. We got two legendaries, Ironsong versus, I was going to say Venus again, and the Carapace, as well as the Archangel of Triumph. Right, also there should be, there we go, Extended Art, Widespread Destruction. Right, so altogether, pretty solid case. Last box, can we expect much? Probably not, but still. We'll just enjoy the journey. I think, we'll just focus on Dusk Till Dawn for this one. Right. Now, have I been overly critical of the set? Yeah, I have. Right, Dusk Till Dawn was presented as, again, a milestone set with a bunch of new innovations. Have those new innovations been good? Yeah, they have. The pull rates, the choice of extended arts for Cold Falls versus printing 3 versions, the serialized art cards being what they are, right? They're still great cards. Even the Marvels are still great Marvels. Just to me, they fall short of everything that was hyped up about them, right? Again, yes, you can say there's more detail in them if you want. There's 2 sides to them, so they've gone and commissioned a second artist. But altogether, right, I still think they're comparable to the Marvel Dragons. Right, I don't think they're above and beyond that of them. And then as for the serialized art cards, I think just doing one of each was a bit of an issue. Right, again, at one of each, we wanted something amazing, something spectacular. Again, they are fantastic, they are spectacular, they are great pieces of art. But again, in terms of the collector market, in terms of what people are actually interested in hunting down, if there was more of them, right, there'd be more interest for them, because to a lot of people, they'd seem more accessible, even if they were, $500 to $1,000 rather than $1,000 plus. I still think there'd be greater interest in them. I think even at, 5 of each, or 10 of each, or something like that, equivalent to the Marvel Levia, right, they'd still hold value. It'd just be a lot more accessible, and therefore you'd have a lot more word of mouth, and that would drive up demand, and people would have more vested interest in, trying to get their hands on them. At 20 cards, for what we did get, again, the big comparison that everyone makes is going to a convention and just getting, or going somewhere else and just commissioning the style of art from the artist yourself, right, compared to what people were hoping to market these chase cards, these serialized art cards for. Okay, so in that regard, people were a little disappointed because there's not really a platform to ask, exuberant amounts just because there's only 20 of them in circulation. That's it, right? The art in the set is fantastic. Across the board, still fantastic. It's always been fantastic. Again, to me, I don't think this set is the best artwork yet, right? Because all the artwork to me for Flesh and Blood has always been of a high caliber, right? In terms of the actual set, you might like the set more because of the themes, right? A lot of people like the tones of heaven and hell, and angelic nature and all that, light and shadow, right? They're themes that a lot of people really enjoy. So in that regard, especially coming off the back of, say, Diablo, right? Because Dusk Till Dawn has come out right after Diablo. The themes mesh really well with the gamer community, so to speak. But to me, okay, I'm not a big light and hell type of person. Can I even say hell on YouTube? I might have to do something about that. Anyway, altogether, to me, right, it's beautiful. But again, there's other sets that speak to me personally more. Right, so again, in that regard, being a milestone set, it's not above and beyond, right? It's still completely high quality, okay? It's still a fantastic set, right? But it's just, to me, on par with all the other sets. Then you can get into the other aspects, right? It's not being draftable, it being highly niche, right? It's targeting the least amount of players overall across the demographic of Flesh and Blood, right? Is a negative, is a downside. If this set wasn't a single one print and we're done, right? If it had a second printing, right, without the serialized art card, so still a Chase of the Marvels, still the Cold Falls and whatnot, how would it go down? Would people still be invested in it? Would people still be interested in it? I don't think so. I think the volume of print, whatever it turns out to be, right, being small, coming all out at once, did Dusk Till Dawn a favor. So I think if it dragged on, if there were still huge amounts of box circulating, this set would suffer overall, because there's just not enough here to have you coming back. right? Even if, you know, you only got to open a few boxes and you wanted to do a case, you wanted to do cases, eventually, right, you will reach the point where there is nothing else for you to find, right? At this point, I have absolutely no interest in these cards, right? Anything from common to rare foil, because I have seen them. I've not only seen them, I've enjoyed them, but I also have more than enough for my master collection. To me, they are just bulk. And you will get that wear down and that burnout amongst anyone who opens this set, different to any other set, because, again, you can't take a week off, right? I can't just go to a store, grab a box, get a group of friends, and play using it. It doesn't have that luxury. It doesn't have that ability to pull you back in like other sets, right? In a year, you might want to go back and you might want to revisit Outsiders, Uprising, right? Anytime you can get your hands on the old sets, you can enjoy them with that extra step of being able to draft or play limited. So, yeah, Dusk Till Dawn, right? As much of a fantastic set as it is, for what it was announced to be, to me, makes it a disappointment. Again, I still open a lot, I'm still purchased a lot, I'm still enjoying it, but it just falls short of what it could have been, right? Again, going back to expectation and then the reality of what we got. But altogether, if you haven't opened it, it's definitely worth opening, right? It's definitely worth thumbing through the art, enjoying it, looking at it all, okay? Flesh and Blood has always delivered consistent, good, great, fantastic artwork, okay? So it's always worth just opening for the sake of enjoying it, for looking through it, right? Even if you don't play, you know, whatever's meta and you don't need to understand every card. Just enjoying the artwork has its own merit. Just enjoying the feel of the cards, right, and the themes carried over in the set is worthwhile. I think that's a big thing in Flesh and Blood, right? A lot of the time in MTG, you have so many other avenues for media, for understanding the lore of the set, that you don't really go after the cards. Whereas, for Flesh and Blood, right, we have a bit of lore through articles, but they're used as a way to bring up and, again, hype up the set prior to its release. We see all the thoughts and events leading up to Dusk Till Dawn, and then we get Dusk Till Dawn to tell the rest of the story. Okay, but still in that regard, you only need so much of it to get the rest of the story. Bologna, wouldn't mind that in foil too. Again, I second, to me, is my favorite just because of the two sides. I think they pair a lot nicer than a lot of the other ones. But yeah, I don't know. How do you feel? Last cold foil, Shroud of Darkness. Oh well. It's probably going to be the first red box, right? But overall, we should be above in terms of the actual case. But yeah, what about you? Right? Did you get your fill of Dusk Till Dawn? Did you enjoy it? Right? Do you wish there was more? Right? Or were you just happy with what was? It's come and gone. And again, in terms of retrospective and the thoughts of it, it will, to me, remain... That's another talking point for after. It will remain as just a beloved experimental set, right? To see what they can do, to see how it's enjoyed and discussed amongst the community. Now, Ironsong Versus. We got 2 copies, 2 boxes of the case. This is my one grievance for Dusk Till Dawn. The randomization is too good. So many cases I've opened, and I've gotten the same things. And that's, as someone who opening cases, right, that's not what you want. It's great, right, but it's rewriting the habits of the majority of people opening, okay? For so long, we've understood that we need to open a case, right? Our best odds are opening a case. But given the new randomization, the variation, it feels good to open single boxes. You just don't want single boxes from the same source because, again, you know, if I were to map out all the cards I have got it, all the foils, right, all the legendaries, I have bunches of X and then very minute amounts. I think I only have 1 Soulbound Resolve, right, but I've gotten 3 Crowns. I've gotten like 5 Imperium Raptures. I've gotten, I think this is 6 or 7 Ironsong Versus, right, which is great. Yeah, speaks to the randomization, speaks to the ability for players to now go and grab packs. But personally, if this is the going forward, if this is how randomization is done going forward, I don't want to pick up cases. right? There's no incentive for me to pick up cases. If anything, for me to get my master set through opening, which is what I try to do. I try to get as many cards as I can through opening, because that's the enjoyment, the chase, the hunt, right? Because of that, I don't want to buy cases. I don't want to buy a bunch of cases from the same place. I want to buy loose packs, and I want to buy loose packs spread across a bunch of stores to, again, try to even out and make sure that I do get a wide variety of cards. I think there's still one Majestic that I haven't gotten a single copy of. I think it's one of the Figments too, that I haven't gotten a single copy of across 13 cases, which is a bit crazy, right? That's what, 6 on average in a box, so 24 in a case, 240, right? It's probably 5 to what, 6 times the volume of Majestics, and I'm still missing X. The last card to end it off, Northern Winds. So yeah, it's kind of hard in that regard to rewrite the thoughts and the habits of your consumer base. But it is a good thing, right? It's a good thing that you can now have the happy thought of just go buying a single box, buying, loose packs, and looking forward to possibly finding something more so than any other set. Again, just as someone buying a bunch of cases, finding, again, the same section of cold foils. Tons and tons of X piece of each set. I think the chest piece for the Radiant set is the most prevalent for me, and I think the Shroud is the most prevalent for the Darkness set. Okay, and then Legendaries again. I've had a huge assortment of the X Legendary versus a minuscule amount of others. And just like this, a lot of them have come from the same case, rather than finding 2 different Legendaries in a case. I found in the same, and that's happened a bunch. I've had Raptures too in the same case. I've had Ironsong Versus, obviously, and again, it's like a bitter pill, right? It's good for the overall health, but at this point in time, right, to just get completely shaken up, to sort of, to some extent, be penalized for my purchasing habits that I've learnt and adapted from all the previous sets, is again a bitter pill to swallow. One that I acknowledge is necessary, one that is definitely a plus for the future of Flesh and Blood. It's just something I'll have to live with for the time being. Altogether, Dusk Till Dawn, still good overall, right? As an experience, just enjoying the art, opening it, good. Just, I'm glad it didn't stay longer than it needed, right? We don't need more of Dusk Till Dawn. We don't need more of such a niche set, again, that has no other avenues other than just opening and digesting the cards. Okay, what do we end up with? I've already mixed them all up, but we got Victoria as our big pool, and then 3 legendaries, correct? We don't really need to go through the cold foils because, well, what are they, like $2 cards still? So yeah, so Widespread Destruction as our extended art. Dyadic, Carapace, Victoria, Arcane Deal of Triumph, Ironsong Versus, and then some throwaway cold foils, and a bunch of Majestics. I think overall, definitely gone green. In terms of the case, in fact, the 2 Ironsong probably puts us over for the box as well. Well, 1 Ironsong in this box. What, a $30 card, something like that? I don't know, we'll see when I obviously do the editing. Anyway, hope you enjoyed. Again, as much as I am harping on and critically reviewing Dusk Till Dawn, I did enjoy the set. It's just not anything different from the other sets, which again I think speaks to the high polish that we do see in Flesh and Blood. Right, the art is always phenomenal to me. So again, you can't get higher than high, and yeah, it's a good set. Just did not live up to hype, to going beyond what was already the core of Flesh and Blood to me. And again, that core is fantastic.